expect the glory. Romans chapter 6 verse 4, "For we died and were buried with Christ by baptism, and just as Christ was raised from the dead by the glorious power of the Father, now we also may live new lives." When Ezekiel saw God in His glory, he said He was a fire from the loins up and from the loins down. The fire of God is called the glory. The wind of God is called the glory. The smoke of God is called the glory. The fullness of God is called the glory. It is all the glory because the glory of God refers to the supernatural life and essence of God, the very presence of God manifested, seen, or heard. You may say, well, that kind of awesome glory is reserved for God and God alone. Not according to the Bible. In fact, Psalm chapter 8 verse 5 tells us that in the beginning, man was crowned with that glory. That's right, in the Garden of Eden, man and woman weren't walking around unclothed. God had crowned them with the same fire and flame of beauty that was on God Himself. Do you know what it means to crown? It means to anoint. God put His hands on their heads and crowned them with His own presence and glory so that they began to shine just like God shines. They weren't standing out there vulnerable to the elements. They were surrounded and protected by a shimmering force filled of glory. That glory was lost to mankind when Adam sinned. Most people know that. But what they don't realize is that the glory was restored when Jesus was resurrected. Romans chapter 6 verse 4 says so. According to the Word of God, you and I are supposed to be walking in the glory. We are anointed with the glory of God, and everything we need is in the glory. Your healing and more are in the glory. Your finances and more are in the glory. Your heart's desire and more are in the glory. So expect the glory. Expect God's presence to be manifested in your life. Lift your expectations to expect it. In His presence is fullness of joy.